Hey everyone, this is Eric Silverman, and I am actually really excited to share this. And so I've been talking a little bit about insect magic, and I thought it would be a great DIY kind of segment, episode, whatever you want to call it, of what I like to do with when it comes to insect magic. Like I mentioned before, insect magic. I've been working with it for, I think for quite a while. I want to say a couple years now. Where certain in my last video when I talked about Feather Garden Bell's oils for spirit oils, I talked about a little bit the story on insects and how I use them. And the ladybug is something that, at least in this house that I'm in right now, it tends to be, I tend to find them a lot in my front door. I don't find them in my back door by my patio. I find them right here in my front door. And so I collected quite a few, as you could see. I have little ladybugs in here that they just end up being right in my front door, which like I said before, I take them as gifts. I don't know if you could see them, if it focuses. Um, I get them at my front door, and I receive them as gifts, as I should use them in my magic. And so what I'm going to do is actually a kind of like an inner child connection candle magic kind of thing. It really doesn't have a title, or yeah, it doesn't really have a title to it. But so I'm just going to kind of go with the steps. And so to go a little bit on what ladybugs kind of represent to me, and these are my thoughts and perspectives. Ladybugs are a very great connection to inner child. They connect me to um, what was I thinking? Like inner child work, shadow work when it comes to the past, to nostalgia. It reminds me of happy times, playfulness, really great memories. Innocence is something that reminds me a lot of when it comes to ladybugs. Dreaming, like daydreaming and aspiring to do something. Self-discovery is something that I tie in with ladybugs. Also, when it comes to a little bit of beauty and like I said, innocence, beauty, innocence, that purity is why I attach a sign, kind of symbolizes with ladybugs. And so that's kind of what I want to invoke in this candle. I want to tap into that inner child qualities that I might not, feel connected to at this time. And so I thought it would be a great um, segment, I guess, if you want to call it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit of how I'm going to dress the candle using the actual um, insect, some herbs, some oils that I made in past videos, and then we're going to dress it, and I'm going to go ahead and do a little kind of like a little spell that I wrote, and I'm going to light it, and as it's burning, I'm going to just talk a little bit about my personal feelings and why I felt guided to do this. And so the first step that I am going to do is that um, add, I'm going to add 3 ladybugs in here. The number 3 for me is very sacred, so I'm going to go ahead and pick 3 of these beautiful creatures, these insects in here. And just to warn you that Zatanna, my beautiful black and white cat, loves to be, which I think cats like to be around the energy because they just really feel connected, I think, to that magical presence. And so she might jump on here and get right in front of the camera. And so I'm going to go ahead and just grind them a little bit to kind of release their their um, their essence is what I'm asking and releasing. So I want to think high intentions and activity, and I want to think, you know, kind of, I'm very grateful and honored to be able to use these divine, beautiful creatures, insects in my magic. So I kind of grind them up a little bit. Chamomile is something that I tie into my childhood a lot. It reminds me of really good times with my mom when that very nurturing and safe, protective qualities I get with chamomile whenever I felt down or whenever I felt like I needed some kind of warmth. My mom will make me chamomile tea. And so it really ties into my childhood. So I want to add just a few flowers in here, and I'm just going to continue to press them so that they get kind of mixed in with the essence of um, the ladybug. And anything extra that I get from here, I'm going to use this as an offering outside um, to honor the ladybug. So I'm going to grind that up there as well. And then lavender, for me, is just a connection to my spirituality, to my witchcraft, to my intuition and my higher self. And so it's going to allow me to connect also to my present self, to my inner child self, and my higher self. And so a few petals of the lavender. It smells so good. I'm going to crush those as well. And just mixing all that amazing essence into it. Okay. And so the mixture right now, it has the ladybugs, the chamomile, and the lavender all nicely mixed in there. It smells so beautiful. And so what I'm going to do right now, this is, if you remember the last video I made about oils, that I made this one to anoint my candles. It has a bunch of different herbs that I felt guided to use to kind of cleanse and charge my items. So in this case, it's going to be the to charge and cleanse the candle. And so I used red because red for me just felt right when it came to ladybugs. I always see red and black dotted ladybugs, and so I felt like red would be really good. You can use whatever candle resonates with you. And so what I like to do is that I like to coat my 2 fingers with the oil, and I'm just going to go ahead and dress the candle. I'm going to put it here in the stand, and I'm going to do a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and dress the rest of it in the wick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my bowl here. And this bowl you'll see me use a lot. Eric, my partner, made this in pottery class. It has, I don't know if you could see it. Hold on. It has, let me see if you can see it. It has glazed Batman or bats on it. I don't think you could see it. Maybe you can. But it has bats that go around it because he loves Batman. I love Batman. So I use this bowl a lot for my magic. And so, again, you know, Batman, all that stuff is very sacred to me. It reminds me a lot of my childhood, of just fun times and just things that made me really happy, of not feeling worried, just having fun and being adventurous. That's kind of what it reminds me of. And so you're not going to be able to get all kinds of stuff to stick to this, but it's a good start. And so I'm just going to let that sit there. I still have a lot, and like I said, all this I'm going to use. I'm going to let this all burn down, and once I let it all burn down, I'm going to gather everything and kind of dress it outside as a kind of like just honoring the ladybug. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put this right here so I can clean my fingers. It's always good to have some kind of napkin handy when you're dealing with oils. And so I'm going to go ahead and clean. My fingers smell so good. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to burn the bottom of the candle just to make it stick to the bottom. and it's gonna allow some dripping action happening. And so I'm gonna let that kind of stand there. I'm gonna push these herbs close there. I'm just gonna wait till it sits a little bit, and I'm gonna leave it. And so what I'm gonna do now that it's dressed and everything's kind of mixed in, I'm gonna desensitize my hands. I'm gonna take 3 deep breaths, and I'm gonna go ahead and do my spell. And so my spell, it's not one that rhymes. Normally I like doing something that rhymes, but I kind of just wanted to speak from the heart and just go from there. It's very short. It's nothing classy or extravagant. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some 3 deep breaths. Blessed be. And breath to me is very sacred as well. It seals my magic, so I always have to exhale into whatever object that I'm doing. If I'm doing a reading and I'm shuffling cards, as I'm connecting, I'll exhale into the cards to kind of connect myself in it. So I also exhale into the candle. And so now that my hands are tingling, I'm going to keep them in place, and I'm going to read my spell. So I'm going to see if I could do it where you can see it a little bit. Okay, so what I wrote is, I call forth the playful spirits of the ladybug. May you help me remember to laugh and play. Connect me to my inner child. I am in need of an adventure where I feel young and alive. Remind me of how I felt as a curious child. Help me get excited again to discover new things and places. I want to find joy in all things. Open my eyes to wonder and awe. Blessed be. As I liked, so it is. And like you guys have followed me for a while, you know that I always trace my magic with a pentagram and then I seal it. And when working in candle magic, I always say, as I liked, so it is. Um, and so as we kind of just watch this burn down a little bit, I want to talk to you a little bit of my childhood and why I feel like I need to connect with it. I was very um, blessed to have parents that really, really loved me unconditionally. I had such a great childhood. I remember nothing but laughing. Um, I very, very rarely ever remember my parents arguing. I think I have like one memory of them getting in a fight. So to have maybe possibly one memory of them raising their voice in my arguing is pretty darn good. Um, I just remember so much laughter and joy and not having to worry about growing up and responsibilities. I felt always taken care of, especially from my dad. He's always been he was such a provider to the family, and he was a little bit um, not really present in my childhood because he was always working and making sure that he was saving enough money to take us on vacations and stuff like that. So I was raised mostly by women. I was raised by my mom, my grandma, and my older sister. And having that, having 3 very strong women raising me, I think really helped me connect to the feminine aspect of myself. Um, my mom, my grandma, my sister were witches in their own right, in their own unique way. So they've exposed me to a lot of things. My mom exposed me to kitchen witchery, to cooking with heart and cooking with herbs and using herbs as medicine. My grandma taught me about the saints, how to connect to the saints and angels, and Um, she really got me into the Mexican folklore when it comes to spirituality and superstition. And my sister Lily, she really connected me to shamanic work. I used to go with her all the time to grab a little bit of water. I used to go with her to so many different powwows and really cool Native American shops, and sit down with her as she talked with somebody else about shamanic work and the Native American culture. And so I have such a really strong magical background with just being exposed to a lot of things when I was younger. Excuse me. And so that's kind of what I want to tap into. I want to tap into that energy because I feel like work has really taken over my my life. And I don't necessarily mean my spiritual work of what you guys see on YouTube. That's fun. I don't consider that work. My daily muggle job is what I consider work. It's very stressful and it puts me in really, really challenging experiences that really challenge my inner peace. And so one of the blogs I wrote recently was about how I kind of keep my inner peace in these, high confrontational experiences and when it comes to customer service. And so feeling like I need to have a little bit more fun, go with the flow, tap into that ladybug energy is really important for me right now. One of the things that I want to do more is to get back to my magical practice. And so this is the first candle magic or any type of magic that I've done since my brother passed away. And so this is really symbolic of me to getting back to my craft and really allowing myself to feel witchy again and to have fun and be present. So that's my intentions. I know it's not as extravagant, I guess, but I don't know. It's been such a weird year. This year has been a lot of loss, I want to say, but also a lot of gain spiritually and growth and who I am and self-discovery. And it's been a lot of major life changes. And so I want to get back to the fun aspect of things that are lighthearted, that are not too serious. I want to explore a little bit more. I want to, mingle with different people, learn about their lives, kind of exit a little bit out of my life and just allow people into my life. I've been a solitary witch for the majority of my practice. I very rarely ever do any kind of ritual or magical work with somebody else. This healing ritual that I did with Crystal was probably the first time I've allowed someone in my practice, in my ritual space in years. So I enjoyed that actually. I trust Crystal a lot. I love her so much. For those that you that know of Crystal Starshine, she is my goddess sister, and so having that sense of community right now is been a little bit important for me. I feel like I'm no longer resonating to the solitary aspect of my practice. I think I'm craving a sense of community. Not necessarily that I want to join a coven or anything like that, but I feel like I just kind of want to learn a little bit about how other people do things and why they do things, and is that something that might work in my practice? Um, and then also, can I do a ritual with someone else again? Um, in the area that I live right now, I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere. There's not really a spiritual community that I'm aware of. Eventually, I do see myself moving back to LA, and I have a lot of witchy friends that live in LA. So that's kind of what I've been tapping into, is that eagerness to get down there just so that I could connect with them physically and go on little spiritual retreats into the woods or in LA, I guess, wherever there's a tree. Uh, just in that space to connect. I know that, the beautiful Joanna DeVoe is in LA, and we've talked about getting together when I'm down there. But every time I'm down there to LA, it's because I have to do something, and I'm very, very limited on the time. And so I always wanted to just to stop by and have like a quick bite to eat with her, but our schedules end up getting kind of crazy. So I'm looking forward to that connection and to making new friends and new adventures. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. And that energy I'm putting into this candle. So tapping into that ladybug spirit essence is going to help me hopefully manifest these things. And I recently been talking to a couple of witches and spiritual like minded people on Facebook on this group. Um, and I'm pretty busy, and so I very rarely get to join in the conversations, but I do get to kind of scroll back up and kind of view everybody and see how people respond, their opinions and their beliefs, and I like that. I like listening to different people's stories and their history. So I'm gonna see what I think we're at 20 minutes, so I think I'm gonna stop the video now because I know this candle usually takes about um, maybe 30 to 40 minutes to burn down. So I'm not looking forward to a large video. So I'm going to go ahead and just sit with the energies and let this burn down. And I'm going to go ahead and wait till it burns down and then just release everything out in nature under this little spot that I like to do my offerings. I have a shipment of some books and an oracle card deck that I'm super excited to get tomorrow. So I'm going to be doing 2 videos on Saturday. One video is going to be the unboxing of the items and just letting you know what everything is and talking about why I resonated with this stuff. And then the other video is going to be an actual review of the oracle deck when I go through the cards and just kind of talk about it. So I'm really excited about that. And I hope you guys have been enjoying these videos of kind of hanging out with me and chatting and getting to know me. I really appreciate all the feedback, like always. I'm super excited to connect with a lot of you guys here on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, even on that Periscope. Periscope has been really cool, just doing these live videos, quick little moments into my life, and having you guys engage and be a part of it has been really, really inspiring and humbling. So I appreciate that a lot. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, evening, morning, wherever you are in part of the world. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. And for those that will watch this later, I really appreciate all your love and support. Thank you so much. Blessed be.